New court documents released this week shed more light on the relationship between former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll and his former Chief Deputy Auditor Jessica Huffman. Our Focus investigator Travis Breeze shares what's been found in the latest search warrants.
Police asking to search the now former offices of Jessica Lynn Huffman, who worked in the county auditor's office back to at least 2020. In a new search warrant filed Thursday, Indiana State Police say Huffman regularly texted Knoll until October, when the two agreed to move all communication to different phone numbers and phone apps. The search warrant gives some details what the two were discussing, including the pension for Jamie Knoll's brother-in-law, Bradley Kramer, gifts from Knoll, running for political office, and visiting Jamie's properties. Police asked to seize a 2019 SUV they believe Knoll gifted to Huffman. The warrant also said Huffman had 100,000 photos and videos on her phone and had been using her Clark County credentials to access certain employees' personal info. Auditor Danny Yost said in an email, Jessica Huffman is no longer employed by Clark County government. Yesterday was her last day. Huffman is not charged with any crime. Her lawyer responded saying she has no comment.
Police also asked to seize a 1970 Chevy Corvette Stingray. They say Knoll paid the down payment using funds from Utica Township Volunteer Firefighters Association and did not reimburse the department. A former JCPS police officer arrested in a McDonald's drive-thru. 51-year-old Christopher Minier is accused of drinking and drug possession while driving a government vehicle. According to police, employees at the McDonald's on 3rd Street in Auburndale saw him drinking alcohol in the drive-thru on Monday. Then they said he fell asleep there for about an hour. When officers arrived, they said they saw Minier pouring what appeared to be alcohol out of the car. And upon searching it, officers found more alcohol as well as hydrocodone. He has now been released from jail without bond on Tuesday and expected in court next month. A JCPS spokesperson said he resigned and no longer works for the district. Well, an open letter to JCPS staff is getting some pushback this week, written by a school board member, Chris Kolb. He voiced his frustrations with what he called misleading communications surrounding the new start times and the transportation changes. JCPS parents and principals have long been vocal about their frustrations with the district, especially after tensions flared Tuesday when the board voted on those new start times, which puts 52 schools at a 9:40 start, all in an effort to help bus drivers get more students to class on time. In his 2-page letter, Kolb called out school leaders protesting these changes, suggesting they either start at 6:30 a.m., lose transportation altogether, or step aside. JCPS parent and candidate for state representative Pastor Tim Finley threw those words right back at Kolb.
And I think the best thing to do, in the same way that he said to those principals, if you can't handle the adjustments, you should step down. I think Mr. Kolb should consider stepping down if that's going to be the course of action and the kind of arrogance that you're going to display.
Kolb voted against the new start times because he says they don't align closely enough with the current research showing younger kids should start earlier in the day. He is one of 4 board members up for re-election this year. Well, due to that bus driver shortage, more than 10,000 JCPS students will lose access to transportation for their magnet and traditional schools next year. One JCPS bus driver sees this as a business opportunity. Our Ian Hardwitt spoke to one man considering starting his own private bus service.
Chuck Deal is a 9-year JCPS bus driver, but he's considering a private service for next school year.
That's probably the biggest issue for me is when you got all these parents worried about it.
And for $200 a month or $60 a week, Deal would make those worries disappear.
Now, after the start time Tuesday night, I probably already have close to having 1 slot booked.
He means the 8:40 a.m. slot, one of 3 new start times passed by the JCPS board. Each hour, mornings and afternoons, Deal plans on picking up and dropping off a bus full of 50 to 55 students, just as he does now. But if the business idea takes off, he expects buying 5 more buses and hiring more drivers.
What are your assurances as a business that you're going to be hiring people that are safe to be around kids and safe to be driving buses?
They've got more experience than I do. Most of them are retired.
Deal won't conduct his own background checks, instead relying on previous driver clearances from JCPS, since he would hire their retirees. When JCPS hires a driver, they conduct criminal and driver background checks in addition to drug testing potential drivers. They also train them for CPR and conduct an 8-hour yearly driving test each summer. District drivers also need proper state certifications and must pass a check for child abuse or neglect. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11, on your side.
Now, JCPS fully insures its buses, including injuries to riders if there is a crash. Deal is in talks with an insurance company, he said, trying to provide coverage as well. Well, Louisville Metro Housing Authority's new leader says the best option for Dosker Manor is to tear it down. Executive Director Elizabeth Strojan told Metro Council renovating that complex is not the way to go, but regardless of the ultimate solution, residents will have to be relocated. Our senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez explains the plan to rehouse more than 500 people.
Folks living at Dosker Manor are already hearing the murmurs that a move out of their apartments is likely on the horizon.
Bed bugs will come back and so on. The smell of her is just unbearable.
Rosalind Smith has lived in Building B for 8 years.
I don't think anything is going to make a difference until we actually really tear Dosker Manor down.
And according to Metro Housing Authority Executive Director Elizabeth Strojan, demolishing the decades-old facilities and starting fresh is the best long-term solution.
What we keep hearing is that the conditions there are not acceptable and most people are ready to move.
On the job since late January, Strojan tells me rehabilitating the complexes is an option, but not financially feasible. No matter what, they're planning to relocate the more than 500 tenants first.
These are plans. We're working closely with HUD to make sure we have all of the appropriate approvals.
Strojan says they're looking to rehouse people at other LMHA properties and other sites that take housing vouchers, which they will provide.
So anybody who is moving out of Dosker is going to either have a voucher or another public housing unit.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
I asked Mayor Craig Greenberg if he backs the effort.
I support that direction. We will ensure that they get set up with an apartment that suits their needs as best as possible.
If the demo were to happen, the city's goal is to rebuild on the current Dosker Manor property, which LMHA has no plans on selling. Strojan says the difference this time around, high-rises would be taken out of the equation.
We think we would be able to provide higher quality housing if we were to build back a little less density and allow people who want to return to come back.
I want the building torn down completely because it would be best for all of us. I know it would be best for me.
Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
Strojan's goal is to relocate residents by the end of the year, starting with Building A, because she says that's in the worst shape. Simmons College is starting a new initiative to help Louisville's homeless population. It just announced the Open Door Initiative. The program will provide opportunities for those who are unhoused to access education at Simmons. This comes after Kentucky lawmakers passed the Safer Kentucky Act, which will criminalize street camping in Louisville beginning in mid-July.